Alright, good morning, YouTube. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to our stream. Happy Wednesday. Hey, morning, Cliff.
Happy hump day.
What
I know this is a dumb question, Kevin, but should that demand zone be?
was that?
Should that zone you just drawn be green?
Yeah, it could be. You see how, I kept
Okay.
this one gray, too? So, I used to, at some point, what I would do is when it was a really, really clean zone, I would make it green or red, depending if it's supply or demand. And if it's just a regular zone that I'm going to want to watch, but might not meet the criteria that I usually look for, let's say, because usually, right, on a demand zone, I'm gonna want the wick of the demand zone to be the lows. Whereas right here, we have lows on the next candle. So this demand
Okay.
zone isn't as probable as a normal demand zone would be. So, because it is still a strong zone in my opinion, because we have the basing and then some big rally candles, it's still an area that I'll base and I'll mark out. That way, if we do come down to it along with, let's see if ES has any demand zones down there. See, ES on the 2 hour is a lot cleaner of a demand zone. Let's check the 3 hour as well. Nothing on the 3. What about the 4? 4 hours not too bad either. Might mark out the 4 instead. What I like to do, guys, is I will, I'll mark out the rectangle portion of the zone, right, on the 4 hour before checking other time frames. So, right, so now I have my 4 hour marked. Let me go back to that 2 hour and make sure we at least cover that whole base. And we do. So now I'm going to go back to the 4 hour and I'm going to mark that as a 4 hour demand zone. So that's where I'm going to be looking to play longs today. Or if anybody's trading SPY, you'd be taking calls in this area. There is a cool trick I wanted to show you guys with Thinkorswim that is really helpful if you guys chart ES but trade SPY. I'm going to show you guys that in just a moment. So we're going to do 4 hour, make this one green. Now we know this is a 4 hour demand. And sure, because Victoria requested, we shall make this one green.
Thank you, sir. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, areas of interest are great. Proper demand zone, supply zone, sorry, are green.
For sure, for
Demand
sure.
zones. Demand zones.
It looks like it's not hitting the bottom of this wick, but it is. But so that's the 4 hour. And what I'm also looking at, guys, if we're looking at the 4 hour charts, look at this big wick, this big rejection here. If we get a sell-off right here leading up until 1 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock we also sell off, then we're going to create a supply zone right here with this key level. So this would be a stronger zone. So now I'm more interested in playing shorts, right? So let's see what's going on. Let's check out the 15-minute, 30-minute. Make sure we're not going to be stopped by any type of zones, right? We had this 15 right here. We held, we broke below. So what I'm going to be looking for now, let's see the 30-minute real quick. Yep, so I'm not seeing any zones right here. And if you guys are wondering what these little lines are, yesterday in the Hangout chat, we were sort of playing around with ChatGPT and some custom Thinkorswim scripts. And what I wanted something that would plot when we have higher highs or lower lows. So it'd be easier to spot maybe a divergence or something that's not adding up, or it's easier to spot some type of trend. So what we did was we made an indicator that plotted higher highs, higher lows, and it plotted everywhere. It was too much. So what I did from there was I figured, let me make some type of hybrid chart, right? Some type of hybrid indicator. So what I did was I said to ChatGPT, I want it to print out what's it called? I want it to print higher highs and lower lows only if it's above or below the Bollinger Bands. And then it took away a lot of the misprints. I know right now it does look like a lot still. I think I sort of messed it up because I kept asking it to do other things. I think. Yeah, that's the one with Wix. This is the one without Wix, but it does mark the Wix. So that one, I'll switch that one up another time. But I do want to show you guys that trick I was telling you about. And what you're going to do for that, what it's going to do basically is if you trade ES, right, and we're trading SPY contracts, we don't really know exactly where SPY is compared to ES because it's not equal, right? So ES is at 44.04 right now. SPY isn't going to be at $440.40. Unfortunately, it's not that even, it's not that simple. But there's a little bit of a way around that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the analysis tool, which is going to be the studies, and you're going to add a study, and you're going to come down to compare with, right? And you're going to do custom symbol, and we're going to do SPY. If we were doing NASDAQ, we would want to do QQQ. What you're going to do is you're going to hit OK. Now you have to go into your settings on your chart and make sure that you have enable left axis. Now what it's going to do is it's going to plot SPY's price on the left side of the chart in comparison to ES. And what you can do just to make sure it is precise, you want to make sure it's set to candles because it's usually set to bar or line, and that could throw you off depending on what time frame you're looking at. So you want it to be set on candle, you want it on SPY, and you're going to want to make the color a really dark gray, and you're going to want to make it very transparent, because if it's not transparent, then we're going to have those overlapping candles, and that just looks pretty ugly in my opinion. And obviously, as you see, the candles don't line up exactly with it, but it gives you an estimated about of where that price is on SPY compared to ES. So that's what I do. That's what I like to do when I was trading SPY options while charting ES. Because remember, ES guys, SPY follows ES, but ES has 23 hours of liquidity a day, where SPY only has the 6.5 hours. So if you're charting something like SPY, you might miss a supply zone or a demand zone that happened pre-market or overnight. Whereas somebody who is charting ES, will find that zone because they will see that pre-market. Let's see. I wanted to see if there's any other strong supply zones on the NASDAQ, but I'm really not seeing much right now because we were sort of choppy on our way down here. And when we have a choppy move lower or a choppy move higher, there's very little chance of it creating a supply or demand, because remember guys, to create that supply or demand zone, we need an impulse move to validate it. So if we're chopping lower, we're not seeing an impulse move. We had right here on the 2 hour, we had this little basing, long wick, big drop, a little bit of follow through, not really much. So if anything, you could mark this zone as well as a 2 hour zone. Me personally, I'm not going to, because I also have this 1 hour area of interest / supply right here. The reason I say it's an area of interest / supply is because we've broken it before, but then we've recently held below and we were using it to reject. So that's why I was using it like that. That way also, guys, if I'm seeing consistency in a stock or consistency in a zone like this, that is promising, because then once we break above it, I'll look for this resistance zone to become a support zone, right? And that's where supply and demand and support and resistance go hand in hand, because they're finding these key areas of interest where there's a lot of volatility, a lot of volume, and a lot of institutional buying or selling pressure. And remember guys, when we're trading, we aren't institutions. We can't move markets like institutions can, but we could react and we could catch some of the move like the institutions are doing. Do you guys see those new rooms that Lucian made?
Yeah, one's for crypto.
Yeah, I told him to get rid of that one.
We don't like crypto, do we, Kevin?
No, I'm just like, bro, it's a waste of time. We're not teaching crypto in here. I told him, I said, change the crypto one to a hangout room one. He said I could do that. But I don't see those in here.
I do.
He banned me from those channels.
Kevin, yo, I love it.
Morning.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Lucian told me I guess I'm not cool enough for those rooms, so you guys will only get me in main chat and questions.
Kevin, you're too cool for those rooms.
Yeah. I told him no about crypto, and I guess he got upset about it. John, I would address you by your full Discord name, but I don't feel comfortable saying your full Discord name. So, so hello, John. Good morning and welcome to our community. Lucian. I gotta be like the only person who doesn't see these channels, right?
He's blocked you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin.
It's really funny. Watch.
Can I ask you a question, Kevin?
Yeah.
If I put trades on, which I'm probably not going to because I had a bit of a bad day yesterday, but can I like call out I'm setting it at this level, I'm waiting it to get to this level, I'm putting my stop here, this is my reasoning, and I'm not expecting you to say, yeah, go for it, or don't go for it, but just sort of like, tell me if you see me doing anything really stupid. Would that be acceptable, or would that be like...
I encourage you guys to be like, hey, what about, I was thinking of taking a position here to execute X, Y, and Z. Or like, hey, I was thinking if we get long over here because X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I want you guys to be like, hey, I'm thinking of this trade because then that'll also encourage you guys to want to try harder and extra hard to find those confirmations, because to come to somebody with the confirmations and reason for you to enter is one thing from entering on your own. Whereas if I wanted to enter a trade, it's easy. Anybody could hit buy or sell. But to have the discipline and to know, okay, well, I'm going to be bringing up this idea to somebody or to this group of people, maybe it's not so much of a good idea. It makes you double take before you take the trade too.
Yeah, and the thing is, it'll make me research my trades more. And I'm not asking you for like financial advice. I'm not saying, oh yeah, do you expect me to make money here, Kevin? I'm saying, look, can you see me making any obvious mistakes?
No, for sure.
Do you think it's got a reasonable probability of not completely going wrong? That sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm really
Absolutely.
not. But yeah, so we're okay to do that then. If I write it down and like put it to you before I put my trade out.
For sure. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Kevin.
Absolutely, no problem. Alright, so let's see what's going on, guys. Relative strength-wise, we got Tesla running. So anybody looking for a scalp, Tesla's the baby to do so. Got such volatility in Tesla, guys. Let's show that volume. Volume, heavy green buying volume. It's going to come up to this key level, 255. That's about a $2 scalp from here. Not recommending anybody buy it from here. I am just saying that we do have a key level up there. Let's see if we got any 30-minute supplies or anything of use near this 30-minute, right? I'm going to extend this grayed out zone because this is surrounding this key level, right? So we've used it as support, 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 resistance. See if we come back up to it and use it as resistance. So remember, guys, this was also, look, support, support, support. This was a strong key level. We really respected this for a while. So let's see. Again, this is another situation, guys. So this is a trading strategy in itself. When you're trading support and resistance, instead of taking breakouts or entering here expecting it's a breakout, you be patient and wait for it to confirm the breakout for you. Breakout, pull back, and retest. Because remember, guys, there will be that breakout and pullback because it has to grab that extra liquidity before we get that extra leg that gives us the real move higher. So if we break above this 255.28, 256.48 level right through here, I'm going to look for it to hit around 258, retest 255, and the target would be this area of interest right here. See, this is also why I'm looking for a supply zone up here, so I could have a target for this trade, right? So let's see, 1 hour, potentially right here, it's okay. Let's see if maybe a 90-minute. Nope, if this was red, that'd be a clean 90-minute, but it's not. Do 30-minute? I think I checked 30 already. Nope. 32 hour. Nope. Yeah, because remember, guys, the higher time frames you go with equities, we don't have much room to move around with them like we do with futures because equities only have 6.5 hours a day. So if you look at these candles, this candle is a 3-hour candle, starts at 9:30 to 12:30. This one's from 12:30 to 3:30. And then the last candle is only a half an hour candle, even though we're on the 30-minute time frame. So if you were creating a supply or demand zone on equities and it's hitting this last candle, make sure you mark it out as a 30-minute because this would not really be a 3-hour candle anymore. This is a 30-minute. Same with like 2 hours and stuff. I believe 2 hour also falls like that. Let's see. Yep, this is also a 30-minute candle right there. So let's go back. Let's find that supply zone. Let's mark that out real quick, right? So let's remove this gray zone. Let's throw our basing, right? So this was our basing, and I'll tell you guys why in just a moment. And if you guys do see anything stock-wise that's moving that I don't have on my screen, give me a holler, let me know, and I'll throw it up. YouTube, you guys got any questions too, please let me know. And let me know if you guys could hear me. You guys should be able to hear me. Oh, wait, I don't think you guys could hear the people, though. Could somebody say something in the Discord, please?
What's up?
Okay, yeah, no, you should be good. Cool beans. Thank you. Alright, so edit price level. This is going to be a 1 hour. And the reason this is a 1 hour is because we had a basing. And the basing wasn't as clean of a basing that I would like, right? Usually I want a wick on top, I want a small body, and then a drop. But what we have is we have a remotely small body, not the smallest, but we have an engulfing candle, right? Now, anybody who is in our Discord or any of our new members who asked me for that candlestick Bible and have gone through it knows what an engulfing candle is. And for those who don't know what an engulfing candle is when we have a basing and then the next candle engulfs it. Think of it like it's eating it. It's eating the whole candle. It covers the whole thing, right? So it engulfed this candle and started to sell off and had a good push lower. So if we do break, again, if we break this area of interest, I'll look to target this key level, this supply zone right here. Cool beans, cool beans. What else we got? Let's check out meta. Gotta throw, remember, show extended hours trading session. You want that off when you're charting supply and demand on equities, because equities don't have real liquidity pre-market. They may have gaps, but that's not real liquidity. Gotta remember that. Alright, so meta's sort of in a bit of a crappy range. I'm not a big fan of charting with the VWAP in my way, so I'm gonna chart on this one. Meta. So originally I had this 1 hour supply, and this 1 hour supply worked out pretty well for a while. It worked out once, twice, then it broke, then we held supply, turned into demand, we broke it again, then we were weak around it again. And what happened this morning, we opened right at the bottom, and we got a big move up. See if we chop around it, if we stay above it, this demand, quote unquote, is still valid. We do have a bit of a 15-minute right here. This is a pretty clean 15. And remember, because I see it on the 15-minute, I want to check it on the 30-minute before I mark the 15. Because if we have a 30-minute, I would much rather a 30 than a 15. Same with the 1 hour. I would much rather a 1 hour than a 30. And so on and so on. The larger the time frame zone, the stronger the zone is. So, I had a bit of a tough stance with this one, right? So we have a big basing, but the problem with this basing, guys, is we have a long wick on the top. We do have the long wick on bottom, which is great, but the long wick on top tells me this was just a huge indecision, which again is usually great for a basing before a rally, but the rally afterwards, you know, we had this long wick here, the wick up there. So let's check that 15 again, see if it was a bit cleaner, and it was, because look at this 15 now compared to that 30-minute candle. We have a small basing, a long wick on the bottom, following candle. The wick did not break this candle's lows, and it rallied. No wick up here, good rally. Another rally, another rally, another rally. It broke through the zone, came back, retested it again, and it kept going. So this is a strong 15-minute demand zone. This is something I would look for on meta to play calls, right in this area of interest, in this demand zone, 15-minute. And I'll mark that one as green too, so we know that one is a little bit stronger than maybe a gray one. And how we're going to do that for those on YouTube, what we're going to do is we're going to do the rectangle, and instead of keeping it like this where we wouldn't be able to see the candles at all, we're going to go into the color, we're going to hit more, HSL, and you're going to bring transparency to about 70. And what that's going to do is it'll still make it you could still see it, but it's a lot easier when the candles get in there to read the candles and to see the candles. Sorry about that. There's Lucian shooting me a text asking why I can't see the why I can't see the new rooms. Right, so let's see what else we got. Guys, YouTube, do you guys have any chart recommendations, any equities, any futures? Discord, you guys too, any chart recommendations? See that? Look at that. Nasdaq's holding between that area of interest. Yes, staying weak. And guys, don't forget to hit that like button on YouTube. I do appreciate it. We go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday for free for you guys. When we're not doing it for free for you guys, we are still live for our members in the Discord, so we are always available. And yeah, it's a great community to learn. I do think Meta wants to fail this and get to this 15. What else we got? Maybe Microsoft. Let's see if Microsoft's got anything going on. Or let's check the relative strength first, right? So Nvidia is the weakest right here. So let's check out what Nvidia is doing, right? I'm pretty sure something happened yesterday where, yeah, I was going to say these stocks sort of gapped down yesterday. So what I'm going to look for, right? So we already rejected this area of interest. I'm going to look for another rejection off this area of interest. Bro, why a crypto room? Why? Damn. Alright, let's see. Look, remember we called this put up here on Nvidia? That was crazy. Crazy. Alright, remove that, remove that. So I would only be able to short Nvidia because relative strength tells me it's on the weaker side, right? So I would look for a short position on Nvidia with futures staying weak. So that would be the confirmation. Amazon strong, JPM, Google. Let's check out Amazon. All right. Let's see. 30-minute. A bit of a 30 right here. This would also give us the range, but the rally afterwards is pretty weak, guys. So I'm a little hesitant on that zone. We'll come back to that. Again, the same area. But the reason, I'll tell you guys what, sometimes you do have to make exceptions for supply and demand zones. I would make the exception for this demand zone, and let me tell you why. Because if I look, hold up. If I look left, this zone, here, I'll even launch the rectangle left so you see what I'm talking about. This zone was an area of interest before. This is a zone that worked as resistance, 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 resistance. Now we're above it. Now it's using it as support, right? So we might not even have to mark this as a demand zone. We could just keep that gray and keep it as, oh no, keep it as a area of interest. Let's see. Throw that back. Sometimes I'll make my areas of interest like blue or something just so I know it's not a supply or demand. Transparency again up to about 70. And there's my area of interest on Amazon. And I'll even mark AOI, area of interest. Show on right. Beautiful. Make that blue too. And we're chilling. Very good. Extended
Hello,
time.
hello. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, good night. What's going on?
I get it.
All right, let's see. So, had that area of interest. I'm not seeing much of a 1 hour demand or supply over here. If anything, maybe this one right here because we had an engulfing, but this engulfing wasn't too strong because look, we didn't go over the wick. Sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Angel, could you fix my problem that you set for me? Thanks. Jeez Louise. Let's see. Amazon, good. Microsoft, check it out, check it out. What do we got? Alright, so look, we have this 2 hour on Microsoft right here. Held it a little bit, broke it. Now we're using the top of it as a resistance. So what I'm gonna do, definitely getting rid of that. Definitely getting rid of that. The question is, do I keep... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this 2 hour to the left, because a lot of times what will happen is a supply or demand zone will fall on a key level. So I'm going to look back, right? So we have this. Oh, don't forget also, pretty sure Microsoft, this is new highs for Microsoft. So we don't really have much history to go off of at these levels, right? Let's check out the daily, right? Let's check out the years, go 5 years back, and we'll throw off nothing. No, it's not new highs yet. So we have a key level here, key level here, key level here. So let me throw default. Yes, so look at that. That's where I would have marked that key level. So I'm going to mark this is now going to be don't show the name, and we're going to make it gold. This is now a key level. This blue one I'm going to delete. This white one I'm going to delete. And I'm going to find my key levels from over here, because this is where the market has history and has shown me in the past where and how we reacted to these levels. So let's zoom in and let's see. Let's put one. Let's put one right there. That's a solid one, right? Because 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. The more touches you get on a trend line, the better. That's what I was going to do today. So I was going to make a short and a reel for you guys today, make some new content. Couldn't quite figure out what exactly I wanted to go over. I think I'm going to go over trend lines and how to properly draw trend lines, what validates a trend line, and not just the price level trend lines. I'm talking about regular trend lines, channels, things like that. So I'll work on that later today after the stream. Alright, that's that key level, and we'll mark this high too, just because. And now we have some key levels. Now let's go back to where we were and see how we have reacted at these key levels, right? So this bottom one, doing good so far, right? Oh, look at that. Today was perfect off that key level. Almost. But if we're looking at the 15-minute, looks like we got a 15-minute supply zone right here. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to have two conversations at the moment.
Why is that a key level? Because the two big candles on the left touched it.
Give me 1/2 a second, and then I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
All right. Why is this 336.85 a key level?
Mm-hmm.
So, because history-wise, when we look for key levels, we want to look at higher time frames, and we want to look for areas where we rejected, and then areas where it was supported. But we also want to look for history, right? We want to see, have we rejected this area before? So when I went back on the daily chart and did 5 years and looked back, right, we're looking at this 336.85 level.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back to when Microsoft was in these highs, 336.85 is,
Okay.
look, this was a resistance, a whole lot of resistance. See all these wicks trying to break through it, and it failed. So that
Mhm.
tells me this is a strong area. So remember, support and resistance won't always be exact to the T, exact to the number, and exact rejection each time. There may be consolidation around it, or accumulation, whichever one you prefer to call it. But that's about it.
It's a zone.
It's
It's
right,
a zone.
right, exactly. It's a high level of volume at that zone. It's a strong area to watch. So there's the 336 and then 343. And if I had to find one more down here, I would probably mark. Thinking of either this one or to go a little lower at this one. I might go with, I think I'm going to go with this one, right? And then I'm also going to want another one right here. And the reason for this, guys, is when I'm marking these key levels and these trend lines, I'm not just looking at the wicks and stuff. I'm looking at the whole movements. So if I'm looking at the movements, I want each level to level, I want there to be some type of channel or some type of range. So from 326 to 336, we had this range, right? Rangy range. 336 to 343, we had this range, we had a range. Then 326 to 318, had this range, broke down, came up, broke into this range to go lower. So these are strong areas of interest that I'll be watching. And that's how I find my trend lines too. Is I want them to prove to me, right? I want the stock market, I want the trend lines to prove to me that they're valid enough to be good trend lines and to be good, you know? Alright, so let's see. I got this new mouse, and the scroll thing has got two settings. One where it could, like, infinite scroll, and it's really funny. It's like scroll like crazy. Alright, so, right, we're coming up to this key level. Let's break back down to the 15 minutes so we can finish drawing that 15-minute supply zone. I would check this area to see if there was a 30-minute too, but seeing how small that candle is, I doubt it. Yeah. So we're going to do the 15. Let's see, 1 hour real quick too. Nope. 45, check the 45-minute. Nada, nothing. So we'll go back to the 15. Mark the 15 off. And that would have been a strong area to play puts on Microsoft, guys. And the reason for that is because it lined up with a key level as well. So we had not only a supply zone, but we had a key level that gives us double confirmation of a super strong resistance level right here. So if we did take puts when we wicked in this zone, we would have been able to catch the top, right? We would have been able to grab that, and that's about already a 2-point move lower. Now, if we're looking at futures too, we want to make sure that we are going in the same direction. So futures are looking good, looking a little promising. 30-minute looks okay. Let's check out the 5-minute. 5 minutes a little choppy. Not as doesn't look as bad so far as yesterday. Yesterday was like Wick City over here for the first like little bit. Hey, we got a hangout chat room, guys. Where all the cool cats of Bullishbrs go to hang out, post pictures of your pets and whatnot. Alright, see that? Look at this, guys. NASDAQ still holding below that area of interest, right? So I wouldn't be taking any longs yet. Yesterday was another story. Yesterday we were down here, and we usually end the stream at around 11, and I was telling the people, you know, we're going to look for a little pullback to grab some wicks, but if we break higher, I told them there was a 15-minute supply zone around 4,400 even, but we ended up blasting through that, and we ended up even hitting the 3-hour supply zone. That was a crazy, crazy move. We just kept running yesterday, guys. But it wasn't a smooth run, right? We chopped all morning till 11. Then we had a little bit of an impulse move. Then we chopped again until like 12:15 for about 15-30 minutes. Had another impulse move. Pulled back for another 20-30 minutes. Had another. This was the stronger move. But you'll never know. Am I going to be in this move? Am I going to be in this move? That's why we want to enter in a demand zone at a key level retest. We want to find these areas because these areas, yes, I can. These areas tend to be areas where we reverse. So when we get in our positions at the areas where we tend to reverse and we do reverse, that ups our probability of not only being in a winning trade, but almost catching the tops and bottoms. And that's pretty crazy, guys. Like, look at this 3-hour right here, right? I tell everybody you would wait for it to close in it, break below it, and then retest. What'd we get? We broke, we came lower, we retested, we wicked it. We would have entered a put or a short position here, stop loss here. We would have been able to let this run, right? Maybe target that key level down here, which we would have got this morning. And that would have been about, let's see how many points. That would have been about 17 points. Not the best move, not the worst move. I mean, listen, 5 points is a great move, 10 points is a great move. If you get consistent with scalping 2 points, as long as you're consistent, guys, trading is the most compoundable business out there. If you're able to consistently hit 2 points and you keep your loss somewhere between like 2 ticks and 3 ticks, so you're always on that 2 to 1 risk reward or a 3 to 1 risk reward, you don't have to win as many trades as you lose, and you could still be profitable because you're consistent with that risk reward. Crypto chat, forex chat. Oh man, guys, we're making some cool channels for you guys. I would just like a price action chat. That's what I trade. Price action to the max, guys. Price action is everything. That's why I'm also more of a futures trader than an options trader, because as great as options are in the sense of they could give you great returns, percent returns, return on investment type situations, it could go against you. And when it goes against you, it could really go against you. We have another 15-minute demand zone on Microsoft right here. And again, so because of how small this supply zone is, I know that there's not going to be a 30-minute zone here because there was barely a 15-minute zone here. Although there's a 30-minute zone here, right? That's overlapping it, right? So let's see real quick, 45 in the hourly. 45, see, that's why we check each time frame. Now I'm going to mark the 45-minute because the 45-minute starts where the 15-minute was, but it closes where the 30-minute closed. So now instead of having a 15-minute on top of a 30-minute, I just have a 45-minute. Let's activate. Oh no, we're just going to delete that. what that does, guys, remember, supply and demand, it doesn't just give us areas to enter, areas to exit, it gives us the ranges. So we could know if we're getting really close from supply to demand and we're squeezing, you know that we're getting in a tight range, and you probably shouldn't look to swing trade or to day trade in that market condition. You should be wanting to scalp in that market condition. So it's really, really a great tool to know entries, to know exits, to know trade plans, trade strategies. Is this going to be a day trade? Is this going to be a breakout? All depends. We don't know until it happens, and that's why we always play the reactions and always play our zones. So let's see, guys. I mean, this entry would have been beautiful. Like, what a drop. Almost nearing $3 of a move right there. Let's see. What else we got? Tesla's still trying to break out of that key level, right? So let's see. Let's see what the time and sales and stuff are doing, guys, right? So I'm looking at Tesla 15-minute right here. Off of this key level, guys, it looks like a basing with a wick on top. If we reject this zone, I, one, wouldn't be surprised, but two, we could potentially be making a 15-minute supply zone if and only if we stay below this wick. So now I would look for an entry to go short. I would put my stop loss right at the highs, and I would try to let this trade play out. Again, I would want to make sure futures are also going in my direction. Are futures weak? Yes. NQ sort of is holding up VWAP, so that's something to keep an eye on. VIX sort of choppy. Let's see what VIX is doing. Wants to go higher, which means the market usually wants to go lower. So again, we will be careful around this zone. Tesla is somewhere. Yes, there we go. So Tesla 15-minute we were watching. But they also know what we look for, guys, so I wouldn't be surprised we might even get a little wick out of there and then reject. So it's all things we have to take into consideration, and it's all things we have to be okay with. Like, if I was taking a put right here, I have to be okay with, one, the size. And when I say size, I mean the price of the put. Whether you got 10 contracts or 1 contract, whatever size you get price-wise should not affect you or should not make you devastated or upset if the price starts moving to your stop. If your heart's pounding and you're scared and you're like crapping your pants and you don't know what's going on, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna hit my stop, and you stop out before your stop, I got news for you. You went in too heavy. That contract was too heavy. When you enter a trade, you have to know exactly how much you're going to lose if you lose that trade, and you have to know exactly what you're going to win when you win that trade. Not if you win that trade, when you win that trade. Because when you create trade plans and trade strategies, and you discipline yourself to follow these plans and strategies, they're going to start working out. It's all discipline, guys. Trading is such a psychological aspect of just so much. Like, so much. Psychology is huge in trading. So I see Meta is trying to push higher. Tesla was on the relative strength list, right? So if I was trading equities, one of my rules would be if it's relatively on the stronger side, I can't short it. So even though we're at this key level and we're sort of rejecting and potentially making a supply zone on the 15-minute, I can't short it until we get that confirmation, until we get this 15-minute to close down here red. You know, or maybe I would wait till we broke VWAP, which, look, VWAP is now lining up with the area of interest right here. So again, it's really something to keep an eye on. It's something to know, how heavy am I into this trade? Am I too heavy? Did I, just a whole bunch of things. There's a lot to it, but there's not a lot to it to the point that you should be getting overwhelmed. You should be able to have a trading strategy, a trading system. Guess I need a water. Should be able to have a trading strategy and a trading system that you follow. And that is yours, guys. You don't want to be copying some other trader trade for trade exactly. If you find somebody and you like their trading style, you can absolutely learn from them. But that doesn't mean to try to copy exactly what they do. Take bits and pieces. If you like what I do with supply and demand, but you might not like how I enter, then maybe keep using supply and demand because you see how good the zones do become. But maybe then instead of like I wait for them to enter trades, maybe you want to take them as targets more often than entries. So you would take them for scalps, right? So let's say you're a early morning trader and you like that early morning volatility and you like your equities and you see that Microsoft was opening over here and on the 1 minute, right? Let's see what we did on the 1 minute, right? We just went right up. You could have scalped it, got in around 335.50 and targeted that 336.77 and got over $1 move, which again, guys, if we're going off options, that's 1 delta, and 1 delta move is very good. Bro, what? Alright, let's see, guys. So look, this 15-minute closed up here, so now I'm not considering this as a 15-minute rally-based drop anymore because this 15-minute closed up here. So let's look at the 30-minute, right? What time is it? It is 10:15. We got 15 more minutes. Hey, we're coming up to 3,000 views on that supply and demand tutorial, guys. That's pretty cool. Make sure you guys go check it out if you haven't yet. YouTube, you guys too. It's a great, great video. The video, guys, look at that. It double topped in this area of interest. And if we look to the left with the pre-market off, that area of interest lined up with where VWAP closed yesterday. And a lot of times, previous day VWAP is a strong area for today. And because we don't see previous day VWAP on our charts intraday, we could just look left and see where it was and have that little trick. Alright, here we go, Tesla. Come on, Tesla, you know you want it. You know you want to go higher. It's good stuff, good stuff. But what are futures doing, guys, right? Like, why? Why? We need things to go together. Alright, VIX looks like it wants to try to push lower now, right? So we have to stay with the trend. The trend is our friend until the trend is not our friend, and then there's a new trend. Let's make this bigger and check out that volume, right? And we'll do fit studies, no. Right, so this is heavy buying volume. So not going to look to short Tesla, because remember also with the relative strength, Tesla is one of the strongest right now, with a 0.2% difference in the day, right? With a 2% change, we're up $5, almost $6 on Tesla from the open. Whereas something like Nvidia is down $9, almost $10 from the open. Got a big gap to fill too. Damn, Nvidia's got nice price action, guys. The trend is our friend until the bend at the end. I like that, Manuel. That's a good one. That's a really good one, guys. Somebody on the YouTube said, the trend is our friend until the bend at the end. I like that one. I never heard that one before. Very good. Alright, let's see. Let's see. NASDAQ again coming up to this area of interest. Let's watch that time in sales level 2. How heavy's ask? How heavy is the bid? Ask looks okay. Not the heaviest. Bid looks like it's trying to put up a wall to stop us, so be careful here, right? Check out ES as well. And if you guys do want, don't forget we do have Bookmap accessible for ES. ES, Apple, and Microsoft. Alright, Tesla's trying to breach above that area of interest / key level. Remember, if we get above it, I'm going to want a retest of this zone and to go long to target 260.75. What other stocks do we need up here? Boeing? Anybody here trade Boeing? That's a good one. It's got good volatility in that. I used to like trading Boeing. I gotta show you guys this one trade I caught in Boeing like months ago with supply and demand. It was oh my god, dude. I had this daily demand drawn right here. And I got calls here. I ended up exiting once we got this break right here for like, it was a pretty solid gain. It was a swing, so it wasn't like a huge like 2,000% gainer. Because remember, those big percent gainers a lot of times come from 0 days or 1 day to expiration or weekly expirations with big impulse moves. So it was still a good return on investment. And it was a great trade because once I entered, this did not go red on me because I bought a few weeks out and it was a swing trade, so that was a great trade. There was another daily at some point. There was this one, which would have given you that entry, and this entry, which would have given you that probably. This move right here, if you were in this move, that would have gave you like a good percent gain. Like a really good percent gain. Alright, now we're back down here, right? And it looks like we just rejected a daily supply zone. So let's make this a daily. And the reason this is a daily is because we had the drop, a basing. It didn't have much of a drop afterwards, but it's still an area of consolidation. It's still an area we rejected before. I'm going to delete this right here. And remember, we could also check the smaller time frames. What's the 195 doing? Remember, the 195 is important on equities, and mainly on equities, because the 195 will give you 2 candles per day. There's 6.5 hours in a trading day. Half of that is 3 hours and 15 minutes. 3 hours and 15 minutes is 195 minutes, and that's where we get that time frame from. Look at this one. That candle was perfect on that 200. Alright, let's check the 1 hour. Again, I don't want to be missing any type of zones. But it looks like that daily was valid enough and did give us that move lower. What about Google? What's Google doing? Google's another good one. Google has clean price action. I feel like it doesn't get as manipulated as a lot of the other stocks do. And the reason for that is because it's Google. You don't really hear a lot of like gurus going over, oh, I just made 1,000% return on Google. Nah, they're usually showing off their SPY or QQQ trades, Tesla, maybe even Meta, but you don't really hear much of Google, but it's there, it's a stock. It's a stock for a reason. So we had this 3 hour zone, right? We held this 3 hour zone. We broke the zone, broke it, came back. We used the demand as supply, went lower, came back up to it, used this demand again as supply and went lower, and now we're right back into it. We gapped lower this morning, now we're back into the supply. So this is remember guys, this might be marked as a demand, but because we broke under it and have already now sold off from it not once, but twice, I'm going to look for the third time right now. Maybe not right this second, but I'm going to be looking for this area to short. Microsoft's also coming back up to that 15 minute. Yeah, things are looking strong here, except now Tesla wants to do a little dance. Yep, future's looking good. I like that. Good stuff, good stuff. There you go, NASDAQ. Bring us higher. Remember, trend's our friend. What was our trend yesterday? Big bullish. Big bull. Let's see. Right, so here we go, guys. Look at the 1 hour was a basing, and now we might get a rally. So if we continue going upwards today, this will be a demand zone, and we'll continue trend. Let's see, 2 hour, a bit of a basing as well. If this comes down and closes red, it could be a basing. So if we wanted to let the 2 hour close, that would close at 11. Let's see if we could find a good setup now, though, for you guys. right? So we had meta in demand. That would have been a little scalp right there. Here goes Google starting to reject that area of interest again. And now also creating a lower high off of that. Remember, guys, that's also good to market context. Let's see, Jeremy said SPY's measured move is 439. Which is 439. It's gonna line up around like right over here-ish. So let's see if we could find a zone over there, right? This is a 2 hour. Let's remove this. We have a 2 hour zone right here. Do you guys have any topic recommendations for the videos I'm gonna make later? Like, is there anything specific you guys want to learn about?
Risk reward.
Risk reward, that's a good one. Yeah, I could. Yeah, let me add that to my list of videos I gotta make. That's a good one. I'll just, for risk reward, I would probably just go over the basics. Like, if you have a 3-to-1 risk reward on all your trades, you only have to win 40%. If you have 4-to-1, you only have to win 20%, something like that. But risk reward, that's a good one. Anybody else? I'll do risk reward slash risk management.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Anything that you think that would help? And I don't know if there's a way of like, I'm sure this is the sort of like golden question, but if you could increase the number of, if you could increase your trade success, if there's ways of improving your success rate, that would be useful as well. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're asking about, like, you know, who
Well,
point
gee,
to
do you
trade.
want me to trade for you too? No, I'm just kidding.
If you've got any sort of like methods that there are, like any strategy, I guess.
I guess, you know what it is? It's not so much finding a strategy that works for you, but it's about finding the discipline in yourself to follow said strategy. Anybody could come up with a strategy. Anybody could buy at VWAP. Anybody could ride the 9. You know, there's that strategy for trends. Anybody could find a drop-based drop, rally-based rally. It's all the discipline, guys. If you're not disciplined and you're just clicking buy, buy, sell, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, it's undisciplined. It's not going to work out. Things are not going to go well. All right, we got Google back in here. Alfido, welcome, welcome. I see you're new to the group. Appreciate you joining us. Welcome to our community. John, I appreciate you changing your Discord name. I could definitely call you John S. Who else we got in here? Anybody else new? I see Justin, you're pretty new, about late April. Cool beans, cool beans. Appreciate you all for being here, guys. This is a great community, and I appreciate you guys for you guys, because you guys aren't doing this for me. You guys aren't joining Bullishbrs for me. You're joining Bullishbrs for you, so we can help guide you in the right direction, and that's really great. Gotta be able to invest in yourself to invest in your future. Alright, let's see. And guys, the reason I'm up on equities a lot more lately, I know a lot of times, again, I'm more of a futures trader than an equities trader. The reason for this is because obviously futures don't have the Greeks and stuff, but the reason I've been watching equities a bit more often is because, one, it could bring up more trades for you guys, but two, futures have sort of been, the morning session has been a little choppy lately, right? And the morning session is what I trade, is what we like to trade, and is what we like to stream. So if we're getting choppiness in futures, I don't want to make you guys sit here and just watch me and listen to me talk about how choppy we are, when I could pull up a different equity or a different trade and find us better trade plans, better trade setups. Look at this, guys, in the video wants to fill that gap. That's crazy. It's about $4 to fill that gap. Microsoft, rally, base, rally right here. See if we could break that wick. Then the next 5 minute would be a good scalpable 5 minute. Let's see, Google trying to make those highs. Now remember though, if we're looking left on Google, guys, we rejected this area, this 119 to like 120-ish, not even 119 to 119.30 or so. So let's mark that. That's our swing high, right? So this is the recent lower high we have. The next recent lower high we have is up here. So if we do break and hold this, I'll look for us to break and hold above it and target the next swing high. And that would be a Google play. Look at this, Tesla gave us that pullback we wanted. Now it's going to start going up higher. Let's see if it holds. Volume's looking good on Tesla. Starting to reject again on Google. But remember, guys, we had this rejection from this area of interest, but this rejection failed. We went higher still. So we got to take that for note. You got to always take what every candle's doing as a clue, as a hint, as a sign. What is this candle doing? Why did it do it? These candles down here kept rejecting VWAP, kept holding VWAP. That would have been a great sign to enter at VWAP. Let's see what else we got. Tesla was more relatively stronger, so we could have then tried to enter when we came back to VWAP. And that would have been a good trade, right? Would have entered around 254. Right now we're sitting at 257, $3 move. Nvidia would have been a trade I didn't take, and you guys know the reason for that. And the reason for that is because it showed up on my relatively weakness side, so I cannot take longs on a stock that is telling me it's relatively weaker than the other stocks. I do want to see where Meta is on this list. Meta's sort of fallen in the middle, so I probably wouldn't really touch it. Let's see what futures are doing. I do want to see if we got any type of anything on ES. I guess a 30-minute right here, right? But like, and we just hit it right now, so now I could see us turning around. It's good to keep an eye on pre-market higher highs, lower lows, and pre-market supply and demand on ES through the 30-minute and 15-minute. And the reason for that is a lot of times if it's a low volume or it's an easily manipulated day, we will get rejections off of those pre-market swing high, swing lows, and supply and demands. So let's mark this real quick, show on the right, 30-minute, make that red. And just because there's a supply there doesn't mean we're not going to break it. Just means that there is a supply there. And this supply isn't even that valid. It had one drop candle, then it had a green pullback, then it had a little bit of follow through, but that follow through got ate up. These wicks, those sellers, the buyers came in and pushed us higher. So let's check again the 5-minute. Right, we wicked exactly off. The highs is 4413. That is where that 30-minute supply zone starts. Now we're also at the top of this area of interest on NASDAQ too. This is an interesting area to potentially short. You got to think, well, what's retail doing right now? Retail might be chasing longs. Well, doesn't retail usually fail 90% of the time? Yes. So maybe it's time we start to go against them. We see NQs failing to break above that area of interest. ES also sort of getting weak up here. Maybe enter a put position or a short position with the stop 4144. So you have a 2-point stop and about a 6-point target. So that's a 3-to-1 risk reward. That's a good risk reward. But now we have NASDAQ breaking. So then I would probably cancel out this idea. But I also want to mention lately sort of what has been our trend is we'll break a supply or demand zone briefly and then wick right back into it and then reject. Because you got to remember, the market knows where our stops are, the market knows where our entries and targets are, but most importantly, they know where our stops are. So anybody who was short, right, trying to chase shorts, they put their stop right here, and then they just got stopped out and they came lower. Anybody in NASDAQ who was short might have stopped out once we broke it. So you also have to think, where are retail putting their stops? Wherever they put their stops, that's where we put our entries. Oh, look at that guy. See Tesla, the next 5-minute candle. I said it was probably going to be a good scalp. That's a good move right there. Same with Google, Amazon, Meta. Yeah, good buying power right now, guys. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Hey, welcome YouTube. I see a few more people just joined in. Appreciate you all for joining us. Welcome to our stream. We do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys, and Monday through Friday for our members over in Discord. And if you guys got any questions or chart recommendations, definitely let us know. Yeah, good stuff. See that? Microsoft just broke that 15-minute supply now. So it wicked it. So let's see if it wants to break it and hold it, or if it wants to give us a big rejection candle, push lower, come back higher, and create a lower high off of this 15, right? But right now, trend being our friend, we're looking a bit more bullish than bearish. Let's see where this 30-minute stops. 30-minute stops right here. So as long as we're in this supply zone, it's hard for me to take any type of longs. I would want us to break it, reclaim it, and then go higher. Jeremy gave us a target of 439 on SPY, which would put us higher today. I want to see. There's got to be some type of supply on NASDAQ up here. There's not. Alright, well, if there's no supply, there's no supply. Let it fly.
See, that's what I need to learn, Kevin. You can look at something, and if it's not there,
it's all just price action, I feel like. Here, so look, this would be a 30-minute supply zone, but because we are bullish and we're already near it, I just wanted to mark the top of it. Yeah, see how we did wick out of it? So it's like we're getting weak. So I'm going to remove this weak area of... you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep the triangle. I'm going to keep the triangle. I'm going to keep the rectangle. Sorry, I got to go back to preschool, apparently. And I'm going to remove the 1 hour week, the trend line itself. And I'm going to use this gray zone as now an area of interest, right? So we were using it as resistance, and now we're breaking above it. See if we could come back to it and use it as support. We're also looking at that key level right there. Look how strong that key level has been, guys. Look at this. Resistance, support, support, resistance, 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 resistance. Now we broke it. See if we could come back, reclaim it, and use it as support and go higher. Yo, Kimos, what's going on, man? Good morning. Welcome. Oh, that's awesome to have you on the YouTube. What's going on, man? It's been a while. Used to be a Bullishbrs member, too. What do you think about TQQ influence? TQQ is just the inverse of QQQ. No, that's SQQQ. Right, SQQQ is the inverse. So if you wanted to go long on something like QQQ, but you're more of somebody who likes to play shorts, you could buy puts against SQQQ. And it's also much cheaper on the options chain, SQQQ. And it only has weeklies, right? But it's much cheaper. And the reason it's cheaper is because the ATR is much smaller. So you might not get that full delta move. You might only get a 20-cent move, a 15-cent move. So instead of getting a full delta, say the delta was at like 50, but you're only getting a quarter of the move, then you're only going to get a quarter of the delta. But what do I think about the influence? I don't think it really has much of an influence. I know TQQQ, gotta do a little bit more research on it, because I'm more of the equities, more Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and then like futures, ES, NQ, VIX, VX for futures VIX. I do like to use intraday though. I like to use regular VIX, because just because it is a bit smoother price action. Right, so look at these wicks. These wicks would have told you we're going higher, right? And we would have been able to use this key level and say, okay, well, I want rejection lower, and if we could hold this key level, I'll target up here, and then I'll target up here. And when we create these plans and we create areas where we want to enter and areas where we want to exit, we're not only creating plans, but we're creating potential trade setups that if they don't work out, we could easily flip-flop them, right? So first, it was if we hold above this, I'll target up here. But let's say we didn't hold above this and we went lower. Well, then if we hold below this, I'll want to retest and a push lower to that key level. But instead, what are we doing? Trend was our friend just like yesterday, and we had these two big wicks just to engulf and just to grab some liquidity, trap out some retail, and then we had a nice pump higher. And those wicks are only on the 30-minute, right? If we're looking at the 5-minute, it looks like a chop fest here and a push higher. So this 30-minute supply is invalid, so I'm going to remove that key level, going to remove this level. And it did momentarily give us a pullback, but it broke right through. Why? Because trend is our friend, and because supply and demand does not work 100% of the time, but it does work enough where you could base your trade plans off of it, and you could base different types of trading styles off of it. If you're a scalper, you could do supply demand. If you're a day trader, a swing trader. If you're a swing trader using supply and demand, I would most definitely recommend though using like daily and 4-hour zones to enter and swing trading from those. And just like I guess a 3-hour too. Like look at this 3-hour right there was a good one. But never go. I would do 2-hour and higher for swing trading. And the reason for that is anything under the 2-hour can be broken a lot more easier than things on the higher time frame. And remember too, guys, this 3-hour, so for example, this is just an example. This 3-hour zone right here was a strong zone. The candle itself, beautiful. Can't get any more clean than this candle right here. We had a nice rally, another green candle. We gapped up and pulled back a bit, but we had continuation to this trend in general. So this zone, super strong, untouched. As soon as we got in it, we closed right there on, what's that, Tuesday? Then we gapped up next day, tried to get lower, created a higher low, and went higher. So now we're bullish on this, right? But let's wait, let's see, because if we plot some key levels, we're still sort of in this channel, up, down, up, down, up, down. We broke it, came back in it, tried to grab liquidity so we could go higher again. But what happened? We tried to grab liquidity to go higher. We failed, went lower, came back, grabbed some liquidity at the demand. And these demand zones, guys, and supply zones, they're formed due to them creating liquidity. So when we have an impulse move from a supply or demand, we're leaving extra unfilled orders at these areas, and that's what makes it so strong when they're unused. There's all that liquidity there. That's also what makes them weaker once they're used multiple times, because when they're used more and more, it's grabbing more and more liquidity, so it's draining that zone. Alright, let's see. What's Tesla's probably still going? Of course it is. Oh yeah, Tesla's gonna go hit that key level, that target, guys. That was a nice trade. I love it when that happens, when I'm like, I'm gonna look for a break, a pullback, and then to hit the target up there, and then it happens. Good stuff, good stuff. And if you missed the entry on this red candle, right, you would have to sort of chase, but it's not much of a chase because the plan was to get in on the pullback and ride the move higher. You could have waited for some type of candle to pull back a bit like this. Or just personally, I like to wait for the candles to close, and I like to enter when a candle opens or when it's in the last like 30 seconds to a minute of the candle. Because a lot of times when a candle opens, the first minute or two will go in the opposite direction because it's trying to fake us out, it's trying to grab liquidity, it's doing what it can to trick us, you know? Stocks are looking good right now. And ES, guys, ES gave us the same thing it gave us yesterday. It gave us that early morning chop, a quick impulse move, a pullback, and then another trend, a little trend. Whereas yesterday gave us the chop, gave us a whole lot of chop up until like 11, and then it gave us the trend. Right now, it's about 10:43, and probably, I think, all right, I think if this happens, this is my trade plan, right? So while the market creates and while the market does its thing, we want to be actively watching it and actively adjusting our plan. So right now, can't go long here, can't chase it here. I would wait for us to sort of start basing out, to pull back, and to hold this 41450 level, right? This area of interest. I want us to hold inside it and then I'll go long, and I'll try to target this 3-hour supply again, which we rejected pre-market. So with that being said, we would wait, we would be patient, wait for a pullback. That pullback might also help us out because NASDAQ, I also wanted us to pull back to this key level on NASDAQ. So if we get 2 pullbacks, ES and NQ, back to key level on NASDAQ, back to key level on ES, that's going to be the double confirmation I'm looking for. Just like when we get in supply on ES and NQ, that's a double confirmation. We're also at a key level on VIX, which means it might try to push higher from here, but I don't think so. But it's a bit of a range on VIX, right? But it's not a range we haven't broken before. So let's see if we get that pullback before we continue, or if we reverse, right? Will VIX want to stay in this range and we'll reverse here? Or are we going to get a pullback and continue because trend is our friend, and that's what it did yesterday, and that's how equities are sort of looking right now. Equities are looking strong. So here comes that pullback I was just talking about. And with futures, you're able to enter anywhere, and let's say you enter 414, right? It doesn't matter if it pulls back at all because you don't have any Greeks hitting you. Whereas if you're trading options and you enter right here and it pulls back a little bit, then chops a bit, then comes back to your entry after it chopped, there's a good chance that even though it came back to your entry, because we chopped, it's going to be less in value. It's going to be lower. You're going to be red. You're going to need a bigger push to even bring you to break even. And that's also why I sort of lean closer to futures than options. Guys, I'm going to want to see some pet pictures, by the way, in the Hangout chat tab, because heck yeah. Gotta make this fun, guys. I want Bullishbrs to not only be a learning platform for you guys, especially the Discord side, but I also want it to be a place where you guys could network, could connect with other people who are also learning to trade. Maybe they're also interested in the same style as you. Maybe they have pointers that you haven't even considered yet. Because remember, it might be me and Jeremy and Sig and them. But you guys are also learning, you guys are also traders and learning to be traders. So you guys might be at a different place in your trading story than somebody else, and you might be able to help them out, or vice versa. We're a team, we're a community, and I love it. It's a really great thing. Once football season starts back up, if we got any football fans, we'll get a football channel going. Bullishbrs fantasy football, depending on what state you're in. But yeah, so here's the pullback, right? So we would have wanted to enter around here because it was holding that area I wanted us to hold. And we would put our stop somewhere over here. So let's see if it wants to rally from here. NQ looking strong. VIX is breaking that key level, breaking the range. Tesla close to that target. YouTube, don't forget hit that like button. Do appreciate it. And don't forget subscribe too, because we do go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys for free.
Man, I missed that Tesla right there.
What was that?
I missed the Tesla. I missed it.
Oh, yeah. I know. I still got it. I haven't even put an options account together yet, so I haven't even taken any. But I know I want to at least get like something together. I might get an options account on some other platform. So when I'm trading on TOS, it doesn't like tell you guys what I'm filling when I'm filling. Just because, again, guys, I don't want that extra pressure not only on me, but on you guys, because no trader wins 100% of their trades, and if they tell you they do, then they're lying to your face. So I don't want to be responsible for entering a trade, have somebody copy that trade, and say it hits my stop, and I'm okay with it hitting my stop, because I'm okay with losing what I'm ready to lose. But let's say somebody copied the trade with their full account, YOLO'd the whole thing, thinking, oh, Kevin knows what he's doing. I do know what I'm doing, but I also know, again, nobody wins 100% of their trades. So I'm risking what I'm ready to lose. I hope you guys do the same. But again, that's sort of why I don't like the whole call-out situation. Not only because we legally can't do call-outs because we're not financial advisors, but because I don't want that pressure on you guys. I'm here to make you guys successful, independent traders. Keyword there is not only successful, but independent. The whole reason for trading, one of the reasons, other than the financial freedom, is to not have a boss anymore, guys. Financial freedom, and to do it at your own pace, at your own speed. If you want to trade once a week, right, and you're consistent once a week, great. You could compound that and make a living off of one trade a week. I know somebody who trades, I think he trades, it's Bliss, guys. Bliss, who is part of our community. He takes, I think, maybe 3 trades a month max. And not because he limits himself to it, but because he only takes what he considers to be high probability setups. So there's all different types of traders, there's all different types of ways to trade. You just gotta find your style. There are some people, I know there's another trader who I follow, I'm friends with. He's up here in the city with me too. I'm not in the city, but he's close to me. But he scalps, and he'll sometimes, there was one day he posted on his Instagram story, he took 18 trades. I was like, dude, TOS must love you for that commission. But but listen, if he took 18 trades and he won, I think it was like 12 or 13 of the 18 trades, and he's a scalper, so he's scalping that momentum. He likes his moving averages, he likes his VWAP, so that's what he was doing, and that works for him. Some people scalp, some people day trade, some people swing trade. It's all different trading styles to mix with different trading strategies. And something I did want to mention, somebody asked me about supply and demand previously and was like, well, I'm not sure exactly how you use the supply-demand strategy with your support and resistance strategy. What strategy should I start with? The way I look at supply and demand and support and resistance, I don't see it as much of a strategy, but a way to read price action and a way to read charts and a way to find high probability areas of a reversal. So it's not so much of a strategy, but a way to understand and read the charts. And once you do have that down pat, then you could start adding a strategy to it. Maybe VWAP, maybe if you like VWAP, right? Because VWAP was coming up to this key level. And when VWAP curves up, that means there's a lot of buying pressure. Because remember, it's volume weighted average price. So it's weighted by the volume. So if there's a lot of buying volume and it starts moving up, then maybe you'll wait for a pullback to VWAP and take it long. If you did that on Tesla today, you would have been able to get in around 253, 254, and now it hit around 259-ish. That's about a $5 move. That would have been great. Let's see. Google's still running too. So Google, guys, remember, it broke this swing high right here. So the next target would have been this 120.42 area, and it's moving pretty strong right now. Microsoft came up to that 15-minute and broke it. So what I would look for on the 5-minute then, oh, we already got it. We broke it on the 5, we pulled back, we wicked it, and we went higher, right? So again, guys, if you're not, you wouldn't short as soon as we get in supply, unless, you know, it's a pre-market thing and you have your stop loss really close. But once we break it, we would wait for a retest because we don't trade breakouts. When I say we, I mean I don't trade breakouts, so I would recommend for you guys to try not to trade breakouts. The reason for that is because a lot of breakout traders do fail. You know, the stock market looks at the price levels we look at, and it will fake out a lot of people. But we had this up, we pulled back, we went lower, and now we're probably going to go higher. Next key level on Microsoft, 33856, so that's about another 60% move. Nvidia also getting really close to closing that gap, guys. Like $2 more away. Before I was saying that when it was $4 away. Now we're halfway there. Meta doing great off of that demand zone, right? We came down, we came up, we retested it, created a higher low. We created a higher low outside of demand. Would have been a great area to enter calls, even if we wanted to wait before for it to break above VWAP before entering calls. See, there's a difference between taking the break and taking the break after another confirmation. So this is a demand play, right, along with the VWAP. So if I wanted it to come out of demand, retest it, and then break VWAP, I could have taken that, right, and waited and taken that trade. Or like this morning, we opened in this demand, came up higher, we wicked it, could have taken longs here, you know, tried to scalp it, but it didn't hit our target on this trade, right? We don't really have much of a target on this trade, because I believe meta is near all-time highs. No, it's not. It's not, because it had that crazy move lower at some point. I think meta all-time highs is like 300, 360, 380. I think I remember that. Who wants to guess? My guess is 386. Let's see who guesses the closest. No cheating. 386 is my guess. 384, so close. But while I'm here, I'm gonna mark some key levels, because I don't have any key levels over here. So this is gold. Gonna extend it to the left. Right, so we see why this is a key level, because the candle's closed, candle closed, candle closed is 3 rejections right there. Now let's see if we can make another key level about right here. And the reason for this one is really good. So we were resisting, resisting, resisting. Then we broke it and we flipped it, and it was supporting that area. So this is a really, really, really good key level. Like a really good key level. Like I might even just write this one as strong. Show on the right. Awesome. Now we go back to the next range we see. Right? So this up, down, up, down, up, down. Broke it. Came back, retested it. Went up. So it's another key level. And we're going to make that gold. Extend it to the left. Fantastic. Going to make another one. So this is where it could get a little tricky, guys, right? So we have this range right here. And then we sort of have a different range, right? Because this range right here, the bottom's right here. But this range, that's the middle. So that's a little bit of a tougher area. So what I would probably do at this point is I would say, let's go to this key level first. And then let's do this key level here. Let's see. Because remember, I'm always looking left and right when I'm making these trend lines and key levels, because I want there to be as many touches as possible. I want it to be as clean as possible. And I want to see a range in between trend line to trend line, key level to key level. I need there to be a range. Prove that it's a key level to me. I want the market to prove that to me. So this is a good key level. Make that gold too. Extend left. Fantastic. And we'll do one more. So this is a bit of a tougher one too. Not so much. This is just a better example of how they don't work out perfectly all the time. So like we broke below it, but then look at all these wicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wicks all support right here. Then we broke it a few times. We were resistance, support again, sort of broke it, but came back up with support. And that was a good key level, right? So let's mark that out, gold, definitely keeping that. And we'll go back. Let's see if we can find anything else. Let's extend that to the left. And we extended to the left, guys, so we could see what was going on the left. We could see what the stock was doing in the past. Have we really respected this level, or is this just recently we're respecting it? And at that point, me personally, I use 2 different color trend lines. I'll do gold for the ones that I know are strong and have good history and multiple touches. And I'll do a blue for if I know it's a more recent trend line. And I'll keep it blue until it proves itself otherwise and it shows more multiple strong touches. Then I'll switch it to gold and it'll be a gold zone. Alright, let's see. So let's mark this one as gold. Extend left. And this was a good one too, because look, ready? It was resistance, support, resistance, support. And again, it's not going to be perfect. But this one went lower. Probably came down to this key level. Ready? Let's see. Yep, came down near this key level. Again, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes we'll break through it a little bit. Sometimes we'll reject right before it. It's not going to be exact. Alright, let's see. So yeah, let's mark this one. We could even go back a little bit, see if we could find a better key level, right? So maybe this one looks a bit stronger because it was off of this wick, then we sort of held it, then it was off of this wick, and we held it. See what we did over here. Look at that wick, perfect. I noticed a lot of times, guys, remember I mentioned earlier about how psychology plays a big role in it? I see a lot of times we'll have wicks, and then they'll turn into key levels, and then we'll end up wicking it again. And it's like crazy. What's the low on this candle? So we didn't wick it exactly, right? This is a 29971 key level, and the low of this candle is, I saw 29950, so about 20 cents. But still, guys, it's a pretty valid key level that we held. Here over here. Let's see. Now let's see where we are price action wise. We're not even up to those key levels yet. So now we're ready though. Now we're ready for when price does want to move back up there. We have our key levels. Ooh, Tesla with the pullback right before that 1 hour. Oh man. I am going to wrap it up just momentarily, probably about like 10-15 minutes or so. But you guys got any questions or anything? Any chart recommendations one more time? You want to see any charts? Do you want to know how I chart? Anything at all? All right. All right, let's see what let's see if Fib is doing anything on here, right?
Can I run a trade by you? It's only paper.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so the MES or the ES
Sure.
look at. So it looks like it's retracing down maybe potentially 50% of the gain that it's made this morning. The gain it's made since the last pullback. So I'm going to place a buy signal there because it's generally looking like it's an upward trend. So I'm risking $12 to make $12 at the moment.
Okay.
Does that seem? I'm just running by what I'm thinking because I'm just trying to see if I'm along the right lines of the way I'm thinking. Ignore the trend, really matter, you know.
No.
But I'm thinking it's pull back to 50% of that since the last retracement, so down to about the 41.12 mark there.
Yeah.
Maybe 41.30, 41.12, yeah, maybe. And then maybe set it to exit at 44.22.
Okay, that's an idea. That's a good idea. My thoughts, so when I draw fibs, I usually don't draw them from the recent pullbacks. I'll draw them from the bottom of the trend to the top of the trend. But
okay,
drawing them from the pullback, yeah, so right now it looks like so far that is working out. We do have to remember with the trend being our friend and seeing that we have been bullish, you might be able to move up your target, right? So instead of maybe targeting new highs, knowing that we might pull back every time we make new highs, maybe instead bring your stop up. So right now, if your stop is like 2 points away, bring it up to break even once we get up there. Or maybe bring it up 2 points so that if it does dump against you one more time, you'll stop out for a 2-point gain, which will still be, was that $10?
It was $12, but yeah, like I say, the amount doesn't matter. I'm trying to get into the right way of thinking. So, but yeah, that's the plan, to move the stop up and to have a lock-in trade of either like $1 or $12. You know?
Yeah, that's cool. Good stuff.
Why didn't that work yesterday with real money?
So we'll see if that plays out. We'll definitely see. Again, if I was plotting the fibs, I would have had it to the bottom wick to the top wick, and that would put the 61% right at 44,112, like 38, which obviously there's no 38 in future, so like 44,112, 25 to 50 zone.
Yeah.
And so that's where I would sort of be looking for a pullback. Looks like VIX is trying to come back into its range though, so I would be careful. I would maybe wait for candles to close, because you see how every time we were getting rally candles, we sort of had a few to go on the 5-minute? Maybe wait for us to get a either a reversal candle where the wick is low on the bottom and we close up top, or something like that that will signify that buyers just put the pressure into the sellers and we're reversing. But to get in on a candle like this is a little hard because you don't really have a good spot to put your stop. But again, you are going with the trend, so trend is our friend, so that is good. But we do have to be careful just getting in just for the sake of getting in.
Which is what I'm kind of doing. So I'm getting in for the sake of getting in, right? Okay, you've pointed out one of my first mistakes there. Okay, so instead of waiting for price to drop to 41.12, are you saying that I should wait and see if this is a reversal and see how this candle plays out first?
Yeah, I would definitely wait for this candle to close. We got about 30 seconds left in it. For all we know, we could dump for the rest of the 30 seconds, right? And then you would have been in long here, and for the first 4 minutes of this 5-minute candle, it looked great. But then the last 30 seconds of this 5-minute candle just dumped, and now it hits your stop, and it's very disappointing. Would have been like, I should have let it close, yada, yada, yada. That's why me personally, when I trade a 5-minute candle, I let the 5 minutes close. If I'm trading based off a 30-minute time frame, I let the 30-minute close, and so on and so on. Because when we let the candles close, it gives us a clearer picture. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to enter there and put your stop at, like, this wick right here would have been good. If you wanted to enter where it is now and put your stop at this previous low, that's okay. I probably wouldn't recommend doing that because we did just have a good move up. I do see the 61% is lining up with this wick right here, and you got to also think people who are going long retail-wise, they're probably putting their stops right here. So we might sweep this real quick and then come back in, right? So I personally would probably look for a long position in this zone right here.
Oh, I see. See, this is the sort of wisdom. Thanks, Ken.
Absolutely. And also, if we look left, this is also an area where we have consolidated or reversed or something. So it's a strong area of interest. Wait to pull back there and go higher.
Thanks.
For sure. Now listen, I could be wrong. We could go higher from here and keep going higher because the trend being our friend, the trend has been bullish. But if I'm playing it safe, I'll want it to close. I'll want to see something maybe down here to go long. And also, if I'm looking at like the 15 and 30 minute, 15 gives me the rally base, potential rally, except for the fact that we have these big long wicks to the top, which tells me sellers, the selling pressure came in. Look, we had long wicks on the bottom saying buying pressure came in this morning. Now we're getting long wicks on the top saying selling pressure is coming in. So maybe we do reverse up here, right? Maybe instead of looking for a long entry over here, we should wait for another little push higher and wait for a rejection and take shorts up here because now everybody's chasing longs. But again, if trend is our friend, we want to go with the trend. So I would probably, let's zoom out here. Let's throw off everything. Delete this. And with trend being our friend, looks like a mess, honestly. But yeah, there are easier markets to trade, there are tougher markets to trade, and it all depends on the person and the person that's reading the candles, right? So I could say, oh, well, this is tough, we're in a range, whereas somebody like Jeremy who loves trading the range could be like, oh, this is such a great market. And I'll be like, yeah, I'd rather a day trade than a scalp, you know? So it all depends. It all depends on preference, on trading style, on trading strategy, and so on. But with that being said, key levels, support and resistance, supply and demand, these are great tools to add to your trading strategy to find high probability areas of reversals. So look at this, right? We had that. This was a 3-hour right there. Do I have that 3-hour on my default? I do. So let's see. Let's pull back to the 5-minute. Yep, we're gonna go higher. Let's see. If NASDAQ pushes higher too, I'll still also be bullish. Victoria, did you end up taking any trades, or did I sort of talk you out of that?
No, you talked me out of that, and that's I needed it, Kevin. This is what I'm looking for, is somebody to explain where I'm going wrong.
Sure.
And you did that, so thank you.
Yeah, of course, because we never know. We don't know until it happens if we're right or wrong on the trade. That's why I wait for that confirmation, because that's what confirmation is. It's confirming the move, right? So if I wait for confirmation and don't get it, then I don't take the trade. And if that trade plays out without me, then so be it. But if that trade doesn't give me the confirmation and then it sells off and I stayed out of that trade even though I wanted to enter somewhere, then that's great. Waiting for confirmation just saved my butt from taking a big loss that I didn't need to take.
What does confirmation look like to you here?
Confirmation would be a pullback, right? So like even this would have been a pullback at some point. Remember, I wanted to go long at the bottom of this range right here. So an entry would have been somewhat validated there. It's just tough to grab a long position after seeing such hard sell-off candles. But these aren't even those strong of sell-offs, because I mean, look at how good the rallies were. So it wasn't too terrible. But confirmation for me on this one would probably be to break above this, break above, right? See how we broke above this, we rejected, we broke above it again, rejected. I'd wait to see if we break above here again and reject, and maybe try to play a short position up here with the stop at the highs. And again, that would need NQ to also be weak, right? I need these to go together. These trade together. If they're not trading together, I don't take the trade. Because that's what leads to divergence. And when we get divergence is when we get another trading strategy and another trading setup.
I need to find NQ. All right, thanks, Jeremy. Sorry, Kevin. Thanks.
No problem.
Sorry. Didn't mean to get you too confused then.
That's okay. I'll pull up the 5-second chart if you guys want me to. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how he does that, man. That's crazy. But if it works, it works. I don't even like the 1 minute. The 5 minutes to the lowest, I'll go.
Yeah, why is that then, Kevin? Why do you like the 5 minutes?
I just feel like the 1 minute produces too many false moves. Like, look at all the wicks on the 1 minute. It's just like Wick City almost all the time, except if there's like a quick trend. But if we're getting a trend on the 1 minute, it's going to look clean on the 5 minute. So I'd rather just trade the 5 minute, let it close, do its thing. Because I feel like if I'm letting the 5 minute close, I'm not looking at all of those 1 minute fake outs. See, now look, Nasdaq's getting weak. We're trying to break highs and we're failing. This could also be a potential head and shoulders, where we have one shoulder, the head, and the other shoulder is a little crooked right over here, right? So his shoulder's out of socket. Somebody punched this guy in the shoulder. But there's the head and shoulders. So see if we go lower from here. What I would look for confirmation to go short if you didn't take it on the fake out, right? Because remember, if retail had their stops at these highs if they were short, or an entry at these highs and we faked it out, that means they're going to stop out and fuel this move lower. So you would either enter a short up here, or you would wait for it to close below over here, reclaim this gray zone, because look, this zone created this range too. And I didn't make this zone up right now. You guys could watch from the start of this video. This zone was already here. And this zone created this range. I would wait for us to close below, reclaim the range. Maybe you're somewhere around this key level, this fib right now. And then go lower again. Take that short. So I always want, for me, confirmation looks like a range break followed by a reclaim of the range. And I enter my trades on that retest.
Thank you, Kevin. That's so clear.
For sure, absolutely. Alright, so here we go. We just wicked off that 61%. This was an area where I would have considered longs, but because of how weak the market is, I would not catch a falling knife like this, right? Look how heavy the ask is getting here too, guys. Just dumping. But let's see. This is an area of interest where I believe buyers are going to be. Why? Because of the left, and because of the zone, and because of the fibs. And because, look, also, this is what I wanted on Nasdaq originally too, guys, so this could be a big fake out. We had the rally, we broke the zone, now we're pulling back to this area / key level inside this area. So while retail, you gotta think, what's retail doing? Retail's saying head and shoulders, let's go short, they're chasing this short. Whereas originally, we had a plan to go long in here. So they might be filling institution's orders to go long, and institution could be buying here because institution makes the charts look the way they do. The market makes the charts look the way they do because they know how to stop us out and everything.
But basically, if it's looking too complicated for a beginner to understand it, it's probably best to sit and wait.
Exactly.
Wait it out.
Exactly. It's also very good to be super aware of the wicks, right? So we want to know, right, this morning on the 30-minute, it was more clear we were going to reverse because of the big long wicks over here. Whereas on the 5-minute, it looked very choppy, very wicky everywhere. It looked wicky to the upside. It definitely looks more wicky to the downside, which again, if there are lots of wicks in a certain direction, in this case the downside, that means buyers are keep coming in, putting their foot down, saying, no way, we're not going lower, we're not going lower. And that's what ends up, once sellers give up, buyers are able to take control and push us higher. So let's see if we hold this key level on the NQ, and this 50% on ES, because then that would give us a good area. This area, if you're trading futures, you would be able to enter here and put your stop at the lows, because when you enter here, it doesn't matter if it chops around, because now you're in that position.
I'm currently up 100 right now on the Boeing options.
Hey, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Boeing, let's check it out. What calls or puts? Puts.
Puts
Nice. Where'd you enter?
at the let me double check.
Sure. And if we look at Meta real quick, guys, while he pulls that up for us, Meta's previous high up here, right? We wicked it and we failed. So again, if we were breakout traders, we would have took this breakout and got stopped out immediately. Instead of being a breakout trader, be the fake out trader, and instead of buying on the breakouts, get ready to sell on the rejection, and then you could ride that whole move lower. The people who are mad because they took the breakout, they filled your order. They're the liquidity for you now. And that's really cool. That's cool stuff. It's good to be on the other side, you know? Oh, but yeah, Julius, let me know where you entered on that. That's cool.
Sorry, it says I'm using a hotspot right now. I'm at work still,
Oh, you're
so
good,
it's
man.
kind of.
No worries, you're good. Are you going to look to swing trade this, or are you going to look to day trade it?
Look, probably day trade it.
Okay, that's cool. You didn't get Boeing when I said Boeing earlier, did you?
No. I
Okay.
seen a shooting star
Got you.
candlestick on Boeing, and I entered from there.
Nice. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Love it. Oh, maybe I'll do a candlestick video. That's what I'll probably do. And I'll go over like you mentioned, shooting star, gravestone, dojis, engulfing. I think there's one called a harami candle, which is like I think is another term is like pregnant woman or something, because what it is it's like a big body and then like a little body right after it, and then it creates the three bar pattern. But we'll go over that. That's also in the book I sent to you guys. All right, so check it. NVIDIA, right? We broke this area of interest right here. Let's break this supply. Let's break this demand. This demand was broken. If we broke this area of interest, we went higher. If we waited, we would have been able to enter longs, right? Enter some calls here, and I think we reverse and we keep going higher on NVIDIA. So let's see, look at that, guys. ES, too. I was saying, let's see if we could go long here while retail was chasing short, saying, oh, what a sell-off. We're going to sell off. No, we're not. Trend's our friend. We've been bullish. This is an area to go long. Good stuff, good stuff. Time is it? About 20 after 11. I'm gonna wrap this up in just a few minutes, ladies and gents. Anybody on the YouTube, anybody in the Discord, anybody have any little follow-up questions? You want me to go over anything again? Anything at all, let me know. If not, don't forget YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate it. We'll be back on Friday. And Discord, you guys come first, of course. So if you guys got any questions too, please let me know. Oh, we got Tesla back at VWAP and key level on that, guys. Just because I'm getting off doesn't mean the market's turning down.
Where are you putting your shorts, Kevin, on Insta or?
Well, I was thinking longs Tesla because it came back to its VWAP, which also lined up almost with the key level. But let's see what's ES doing still. Right, ES, look at that. We're bears, people were chasing that short. Came all the way up.
I actually meant your short videos, but okay, see. Sorry, I should have been more yeah, I don't know what you call.
I'll post them everywhere. I post them on YouTube, to our YouTube channel. I post them to our Instagram channel. I post them to our Facebook page, everywhere. And
I'm gonna use that code in the future for where to get entries.
There you go. Yeah, where are you going short? Where are you going long?
No, but your short videos, you know.
Oh, like... yeah. Facebook, guys, we have 2 pages. It's Bullishbrs and Bullishbrs Trading. Bullishbrs Trading, you have to be accepted into. Bullishbrs, you could just join. Give me 1 second, I'm just typing back to a member. And I'll tell you guys what I'm going over with him too, because seems a little down in the dumps. One of our members is like, oh, I really suck at trading. It'll take more time than I expected, but I'm patient. So it's good that he's patient. But what I'm telling him is I'm saying, hey, listen, don't say that. You're just getting started. It's a very difficult road. You gotta think if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Patience and discipline is key. And
find the strategy that works for you.
Yep. But you know what? Even when you start trading, that's even a little down the road. I feel like learning price action first and then finding that strategy is best. Because if you could read a chart like that, then it's way easier to start implementing strategies.
There's just so many things to learn. It's a daunting process. Like I had an order set up wrong this morning, so I lost out on 25 cents or whatever.
All right, it's not the worst, but I get what you're saying. It could definitely be like a little. Me personally, I feel like when things like that happen in the market, it feels like I'm banging my head against the wall, and it's like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? What is going on? Did you try to use the active trader? What is it? The ladder that I was telling you about yesterday?
Yeah, I was trying to do a one cancels the other order, and I had set it up wrong, and instead of selling my shares to take profit, it bought another 5. Just a small contract though, so it wasn't any big deal.
All right.
That's why I'm doing it so small, so you know.
That's the best way to do it. That's literally the best way to do it, and the best way I could recommend everybody here to trade is just trade small. Consistency will come, and when it comes, then you could start leveling up your trades. But until it comes, you're better off starting small. There's no harm in starting small, because if you don't need the money this minute, give yourself the time to be disciplined and figure out how to trade properly and how to trade consistently. When the consistency comes, then you could worry about making $10,000 a trade, $100,000 on big trades. Again, depending on your strategy. If you're scalping, maybe a few thousand. And again, it's all compounding. If you're trading and you get 5 points on ES with one ES contract, 5 points is $50. We're looking at about $250. Whereas if you get now 10 contracts, we're looking at $2,500 for the same exact move. I got a few things in the works for you guys. I was working on a Bullishbrs trading journal, which I guess I'm probably going to put that one on hold for a little bit so I can make those videos today. I also wanted to make a new Bullishbrs candlestick Bible book, but to be honest, I could probably just, I'll probably just make the YouTube video for it and post that everywhere for you guys. Just examples of types of candles and how they play out. Look at this, guys. See if we get a sell-off from here.
Yeah, that last wick got me. But I stopped out, so.
Alright, good. Good. That's good. You gotta be disciplined to your stops. And listen, if it hits your stop, goes a little bit lower, and then reverses, can't be mad at that because you respected your stop. You had no idea if it was going to go a little bit lower, a lot a bit lower. You respected your stop. You accepted your loss. You take it. You move on.
Yeah, I'm not running any orders without a stop and a profit target, and they go in at the time I put the order. That's if I don't do that, then I probably my losses would get much larger.
Right. Very good. Alright, guys. I think I'm going to call it a day on that note. If you guys do have any more questions, members, you guys know how to contact me. You could message me. You could at me in the questions tab or direct message me, whatever you guys want. YouTube, I appreciate you all for joining in. I appreciate the journal list you sent the other day. Create an Excel journal using your list. Oh, that's awesome, John. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, that was a really good in-depth list. I was going to make the trade journal based off of that list. I was thinking of removing a few things because that list is pretty in-depth, So yeah, that's cool, dude. I'm happy to hear that you're using it. That's great. Journaling your trades, guys, it might not sound that important, but it's probably one of the most important things I could recommend to a new trader is to journal your trades. And I'd say till my face turns blue, to be honest, because I know that's what helped me to get over my hump, because once you start writing down what you're doing, whether it's a winning trade, a losing trade, once you start writing it down, you start seeing it, visually seeing what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, it'll make it a lot easier to stay away from doing the wrong stuff, because you'll see you're writing down, oh, I got in when it came to the 9 moving average, and then I stopped out because it broke the 9 and it went against me. And if you write that like 3 times, 4 times, you're going to start feeling like, all right, maybe I should get rid of that. And then it'll help you to move on and find other trading strategies that will work, that will help you move forward. And vice versa. If you're writing down, oh, every time I get in at the 9, it stops me out, but then I notice at VWAP it goes up, it does move with volume or with volatility, then you could say, okay, well, my next trade, I'm going to shoot for the VWAP to enter instead of the 9. And then maybe you'll have more success because you're going off of history of yourself and the stock market. Alright, with that being said, now I'm going to wrap it up. YouTube, don't forget, hit that like button. We'll see you guys again on Friday. Discord, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope you guys took some good trades. If not, I hope you guys at least learned something. And I hope you all have a fantastic day.
Oh, you too, Kevin. Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thanks, Kev.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Sure thing, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.